Millionaire pretends to be a farmer to visit his fiancée's father, but he finds out, and... Tyler Anderson nervously adjusted his blue apron while rehearsing every word he would say in his mind. After 3 months of dating Emily, the moment he had dreaded had arrived, meeting her father. The problem was Emily had told her father she was dating a simple farmer. Tyler, owner of one of the largest tech companies in the United States, decided to keep up the lie to avoid being judged for his wealth. Now, standing at the door of the Collins family farm, with a basket of vegetables in his hands, he realized he might have taken things too far. "You must be Tyler," said the man in a light blue checkered shirt who opened the door. His eyes scrutinized every detail of the visitor. "Yes, sir. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Frank." Tyler extended his hand, feeling the man's firm grip. "Emily has told us so much about you. Please, come in." The woman beside Frank smiled warmly. It was Martha, Emily's mother, whom Tyler had already met through video calls. "I brought some produce from my garden." Tyler lifted the basket, proud of the vegetables he had bought at the farmer's market just an hour earlier. Frank picked up a tomato from the basket and examined it carefully. His calloused fingers gently pressed the fruit. "Interesting. Greenhouse-grown tomatoes by the looks of it. The texture gives it away." Tyler's stomach dropped. "Well, the frost got to my outdoor crops," he improvised. "Frost in the middle of October." Frank raised an eyebrow. "Dad, let Tyler inside." Emily appeared, running to the rescue, saving her boyfriend from further interrogation. She hugged him quickly and whispered in his ear, "Relax, it'll be fine." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, back to the story. The Collins home radiated simplicity and warmth. Solid wood furniture, family photos on the walls, and the aroma of fresh coffee coming from the kitchen. Tyler had never been in a place so different from his penthouse in the Upper East Side. "Have a seat, Tyler." Martha gestured to the sofa. "Emily mentioned you have a small farm in upstate New York?" "Yes, ma'am. Nothing too big. Just enough to get by," he replied, remembering the story Emily had crafted. "And your family, are they farmers too?" Frank asked, pouring himself some coffee. "My father was. He passed when I was young." This part at least was true. Emily squeezed his hand discreetly, offering support. "It must be hard managing everything alone," Martha said sympathetically. "You adapt." Tyler took a sip of coffee, surprised by its rich, full-bodied flavor. "This coffee is amazing." "We grow it right here," Frank pointed out the window. "Got 50 plants out back. You must know the process well, don't you?" "Of course," Tyler nodded, praying the subject would change. "Great, after lunch you can help me with the pruning. I could use an experienced hand." Emily nearly choked on her coffee. "Dad, Tyler came to relax, not to work." "Come on, sweetheart. A countryman can't sit still. Right, Tyler?" "Absolutely, Mr. Frank. I'd be happy to help." Martha stood up with a smile. "I'll finish lunch." "Emily, come help me." Alone in the living room, Frank moved closer to Tyler. "You know, son, Emily is my only daughter. I always dreamed she'd find someone hard-working, honest, someone who understands the value of sweat." "I completely understand, sir. She's had a few city boyfriends before, guys who thought money solved everything. That's why I was relieved when she said she was dating a farmer." Tyler felt the weight of those words. Each one deepened his guilt. "Emily is an incredible woman. I love her very much." Frank studied the young man's face for several long seconds. "That much I can see. But love without truth is like planting in salty soil. Nothing good grows." Lunch unfolded amid conversations about country life. Tyler did his best to dodge technical questions, but Frank seemed determined to test him. "What fertilizer do you use for tomatoes?" he asked between bites. "NPK 10-10-10, Tyler replied, recalling something he'd read online the night before. "For tomatoes?" "Interesting choice. Most prefer a formula with more potassium during fruiting." "Well, I like to experiment." Tyler wiped sweat from his brow. Emily kept trying to change the subject, but her father always circled back to farming. It was as if Frank suspected something. After lunch came the dreaded moment. Frank handed Tyler a pair of pruning shears. "Let's go. I want to see your technique." In the coffee field, Tyler stared at the plants, clueless where to begin. The green leaves shimmered under the sun, the branches twisting in patterns he didn't understand. "Well?" Frank crossed his arms, waiting. Tyler moved the shears toward a random branch. "No!" Frank grabbed his arm. "So you were about to cut a productive branch. How many years did you say you've worked in farming again?" Tyler lowered the shears, defeated. "You've never pruned a coffee plant in your life, have you?" Emily came running. "Dad, I can." "Explain." "No need, sweetheart." Frank took the shears from Tyler's hands. "I've had my suspicions since he arrived. The smooth hands, the posture, the way he talks. You're no farmer." Tyler took a deep breath. The moment of truth had come. "You're right, Mr. Frank, I'm not a farmer." "Tyler, don't—" Emily tried to intervene. "No, Emily, your father deserves the truth." Tyler faced Frank. "My name is Tyler Anderson. I own Anderson Tech." Frank took a step back. "Anderson Tech, the app company?" "That's the one." "So you're a millionaire?" "Yes, sir." The silence that followed was broken only by the wind rustling through the coffee leaves. Frank looked between Tyler and Emily, processing the revelation. "You lied to me," he finally said to his daughter. "Dad, I can explain." "And you," he turned to Tyler, "came into my home pretending to be something you're not. Brought store-bought vegetables as if they were yours, sat at my table feeding me lies." "Mr. Frank, Get out. Both of you now." "Dad!" Tears welled in Emily's eyes. "Now, Emily," Martha appeared, drawn by the argument. "What's going on?" "Your daughter brought a liar into our home, a millionaire pretending to be a simple man." "Frank, let's talk." Calmly. "There's nothing to talk about. Someone who lies about who they are lies about everything else." Tyler stepped forward. "You have every right to be angry. But I love your daughter, that's not a lie." "Love?" Frank laughed bitterly. "You think you can buy my daughter's love like you buy vegetables at the market?" "Dad, it's not like that." Emily grabbed her father's arm. "Tyler lied because I asked him to. I knew how you'd react if you found out he was rich. So you don't trust your own father." "It's not that. It's just you've always said city rich folks were all the same, that they only cared about money. And looks like I was right. Look at this charade you pulled." Tyler felt he had to try one last time. "Mr. Frank, I grew up poor. My father was a mechanic. He died when I was 15. Everything I built came from hard work. I know the value of sweat, just that my sweat was different from yours. Don't compare your air-conditioned office job to field work, boy." "Dad, that's prejudice." Emily raised her voice. "Prejudice? Me? You're the ones who came here with lies, and now I'm the bad guy." Martha tried to calm her husband. "Frank, let's go inside, talk this through." "No, Martha, I want them off my property." Emily began to cry. "Dad, please." "Emily, let's go," Tyler said, holding her hand. "Your father needs time." "Time?" Frank stepped closer. "What I need is honest people in my life. You won my daughter over with your money, didn't you? Fancy restaurants, gifts." "Actually," Emily sniffed, "he never took me to expensive places. We always went to simple spots. He tried not to seem rich." "More lies, then." Tyler realized nothing he said at that moment would help. He gently pulled Emily along. "Come on, sweetheart, we'll talk later." As they walked to the car, Martha ran after them. "Emily, honey, you knew how he'd react, Mom." Emily hugged her mother. "That's why I was scared." "Give him time, you know your father." Tyler took a card from his pocket. "Mrs. Martha, this is my number, if you need anything." "Keep your card, boy." Frank appeared at the door. "We don't need your charity." "Frank," Martha scolded her husband. "It's my personal number," Tyler insisted, placing the card in Martha's hands. "It's not about money, just in case you want to talk." In the car, Emily cried silently. Tyler drove, unsure of what to say. The plan that had seemed so simple had turned into a disaster. "I'm sorry," Emily finally said. "I should have told the truth from the start." "No, sweetheart. I'm the one who complicated everything with this disguise idea. You did it for me. And look how it turned out. The rest of the drive passed in silence, each lost in their thoughts. Tyler dropped Emily off at her apartment in Brooklyn. Will you be okay? He asked worriedly. I just need some time alone. Emily, we'll get through this. She tried to smile. You don't know my dad. When he makes up his mind, that's it. But, Tyler, please, we'll talk tomorrow. Back in his penthouse, Tyler gazed at the New York City skyline. Everything he'd achieved felt worthless at that moment. The money that had always solved his problems was now the problem itself. His phone rang. It was Brandon, his best friend and business partner. So how'd it go with the father-in-law? A complete disaster. What do you mean? Tyler recounted the whole story. Brandon whistled on the other end. And you really messed up. Thanks for the brilliant insight. But hey, the old man has to understand money doesn't define character. It's not that simple. To him, I'm not just rich, I'm a liar. So what are you going to do? Tyler sighed. No idea. The following days were torture. Emily barely responded to his messages. When they did talk, she seemed distant, torn between her love for Tyler and her loyalty to her father. He won't even hear your name, she said during one of their torrente calls. Mom tries to talk to him, but he's stubborn. And you, what do you want? I love you, Tyler, but I can't just turn my back on my family. I'm not asking you to. I know. But as long as Dad doesn't accept it, how can we move forward? Tyler had no answer. For the first time in his adult life, he faced a problem money couldn't solve. A week later, Tyler made a decision. He drove back to the Collins farm, this time without disguises. He wore jeans and a simple shirt, but they were expensive designer clothes. He wouldn't pretend to be something he wasn't anymore. Frank was in the coffee field when he saw him arrive. What do you want here? Just to talk. We have nothing to talk about. Please, Mr. Frank, 5 minutes. Frank rested the hoe on his shoulder. Speak. I was wrong, to lie. But I truly love your daughter, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove that. Do what? Buy a farm? Pretend you like the simple life? No. I'm willing to learn, to understand your world, your values. Not as a lie, but for real, Frank laughed. You want to learn about farming? If it matters to you, yes. Kid, you don't get it. It's not about farming, it's about character, about being who you say you are. Then give me the chance to show you who I really am. You already have. You're a man who lies to get what he wants. Tyler lowered his head, defeated. As he turned to leave, Frank spoke. But Tyler stopped. But my wife won't leave me alone. Says I'm being unfair, that I'm not giving you a chance. Martha is a wise woman. Don't. Butter me up, boy, doesn't work on me. Sorry. Frank scratched his beard, thoughtful. You said you're willing to learn. Yes, sir. Then show up here Monday at 5 in the morning. Real work clothes, not that costume you wore last time. I'm giving you a chance, one. If you really want to be part of this family, you'll have to sweat for it. And I'm not talking about money. I understand. You don't understand a thing. But you will, Monday, 5 o'clock sharp, not a minute late. Tyler smiled for the first time in days. I'll be here. And Tyler? Yes? Don't tell Emily. I want to see if you can handle it without her knowing. On Sunday, Tyler went shopping. Not to high-end boutiques, but to farm supply stores. He bought real work clothes, sturdy boots, a straw hat. The clerk raised an eyebrow when he paid with a black card. Monday, 4:45 a.m. Tyler was already at the farm gate. Frank showed, upright at 5, surprised to find him waiting. At least you're punctual. I try to be, sir. Let's get to it. We've got a lot of work. The first few hours were brutal. Frank didn't make it easy. Hauling bags of fertilizer, cleaning the chicken coop, fixing fences. Hard labor Tyler had never done before. Tired? Frank asked after 3 hours. Tyler, drenched in sweat, hands already blistered, smiled. I'm great. Liar. Okay, I'm dying. But I won't quit. Frank almost smiled. Let's grab some coffee then. In the kitchen, Martha served coffee and bread with cheese. How's he doing? She asked her husband. Better than I expected, Frank admitted grudgingly. Emily doesn't. No, he's here. And she won't, Frank said, looking at Tyler. That's the deal. Got it, Tyler confirmed. The day continued with more hard work. Tyler learned to milk cows after getting kicked several times, identify pests in the coffee fields, and fix an old tractor. You've got a way with machines, Frank observed as Tyler adjusted the engine. My father was a mechanic, grew up in a shop. Truth this time? Truth. He had a small shop in Queens. I helped after school. Frank nodded, filing that away. By the end of the day, Tyler could barely move. Every muscle ached, his hands were raw, his back throbbed. Same time tomorrow? Frank asked. Yes, sir. We'll see how long you last. Tyler lasted, day after day, week after week. He learned the right way to prune coffee plants, the perfect harvest time, the differences between bean varieties. He also learned about Frank, his youthful dreams, the struggles of keeping the farm running, his pride in honest work. You know, why I doubted you from the start, Frank asked one day as they worked. My soft hands. Not just that, it was how you looked at the house, with pity, like it was too simple. I didn't. Yes, you did. Saw it on your face. Thought our life was small. Tyler stopped working. You're right. At first I compared it to my life. That was arrogant of me. And now? Now I envy you. You've got a close family, work you're proud of, peace of mind. Things my money never bought. Frank studied the young man. You've changed these past weeks. Hard work does that to you. It's not just the work, it's the humility to learn. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. So now continuing, Emily found out about Tyler's visits in the 4th week. She arrived at the farm furious. Dad, how could you do this? Do what? Frank pretended not to understand. Exploiting Tyler like this. Exploiting, Tyler intervened. Emily, your father is teaching me. Teaching, you're all bruised up. I'm learning about hard work, about values, about your family. Emily looked from her father to her boyfriend, confused. Have you both lost your minds? Sweetheart, Frank stepped closer. This young man has been coming here every day for a month. He arrives before sunrise, works until dark, never complained, never gave up. But why? Because he loves you, Martha appeared with a smile, and because he wants to prove he's worthy of you. This is ridiculous. Tyler doesn't need to prove anything. Yes, I do. Tyler took her hands. Your father was right. I lied. I was arrogant. I needed to learn. But hurting yourself like this, it's worth it, Tyler smiled. For you, any effort is worth it. Emily had tears in her eyes. She hugged Tyler, then turned to her father. You were too hard on him. I was fair, and he endured it. That says a lot about his character. So, you approve? Frank took a deep breath. I still don't like that he's a millionaire. But I've learned money doesn't completely define a person. Tyler, he has substance. Dad, Emily hugged her father. Thank you. Easy, easy. We still have a lot to talk about. That night, everyone had dinner together. For the first time since the revelation, the mood was light. Tyler told stories about his blunders during the first weeks of work, making everyone laugh. Remember when you tried to mount the horse from the wrong side? Frank chuckled. Thunder never forgave me for that. You rode Thunder? Emily's eyes widened. No one rides him. I found that out the hard way. Tyler rubbed his back. After dinner, Frank called Tyler aside for a private talk. I want to make one thing clear. I accept your relationship with Emily, but under conditions. What are they? First, no flaunting wealth. My daughter was raised with simple values. I completely agree. Second, take it slow. No rash decisions. Understood. Third, you keep coming here. Not every day, but I want you around. Part of the family. Tyler smiled. It'd be an honor, Mr. Frank. And Tyler? You can call me Frank. Just Frank. It was the sign Tyler had been waiting for. Real acceptance. In the following months, Tyler balanced his business life with visits to the farm. He learned not just about farming, but about family, simplicity, and values money had obscured. Emily watched the transformation with joy. The man she loved was more complete, more real. "You know," she said one day, as they walked through the coffee fields, "my father told me something interesting." "What?" "That you're the richest man he knows, not because of money, but because you were humble enough to learn." Tyler stopped and kissed her. "Your father is a wise man. Stubborn, too. I figured that out on day one." A year later, Tyler proposed to Emily. But first, following tradition, he asked for Frank's blessing. "You want to marry my daughter?" "Yes, sir, with your permission." "Where will you live?" "Wherever Emily wants. We can have a place in the city and another nearby here." "And work?" "I'm restructuring the company. I want more time for family." Frank nodded slowly. "You know, when you first showed up pretending to be a farmer, I thought you were just another arrogant rich guy. And you were right. I was. But you changed. Or rather, you let the real you show through all that money. I learned from the best teacher." "Flatterer," Frank smiled. "You have my blessing, Tyler. Take good care of her." "With my life." The wedding took place at the farm, a simple ceremony but full of meaning. Tyler insisted on doing everything the traditional Collins family way, without any extravagance. During the celebration, Frank gave a speech. "When I first met my son-in-law, he deceived me, pretended to be someone he wasn't. I was furious, kicked him out of the house, but Tyler did something few men would do. He came back. Not with money or gifts, but with humility. He worked hard, learned, proved his worth. Today, I don't see a millionaire in him. I see a hard-working man who loves my daughter. Welcome to the family, son." Tears welled in Tyler's eyes. He embraced his father-in-law as everyone applauded. Years later, when their first grandson was born, Frank and Tyler were working together in the coffee fields. "Gonna teach the boy about technology?" Frank asked. "And about farming, too. I want him to grow up knowing both worlds." "Good, balance is important. That's what I learned from you." "No, you learned that lies have short legs and that true love demands truth and effort." "That too," Tyler laughed. They watched the sunset over the coffee fields, two men from different worlds united by love for the same family. "You know," Frank broke the silence, "I'm glad I found out about your lie that day." "Why?" "Because if I hadn't, I'd never have known the man you really are." Tyler smiled. The lie that had nearly destroyed everything ended, up revealing a greater truth. It doesn't matter where we come from or how much we have, but who we choose to be and how much we're willing to change for love. Emily appeared with the baby in her arms. "Grandpa, he's asking for you." Frank cradled his grandson with infinite care. "Come here, my farmer businessman, or should I say businessman farmer." Everyone laughed. The Collins farm, once a stage for lies and conflict, was now home to a family united by truth, hard work, and genuine love. Martha, watching from the porch, whispered to no one in particular, "In the end, love always finds a way." And she was right. Love had found a way to bring two worlds together, turn lies into truth, and prove that a man's greatest worth isn't in his bank account, but in his willingness to change, learn, and love without reservation. But the story was far from over. What seemed like a happy ending was only the beginning of new challenges that would test the limits of this newly united family. 2 years after the wedding, Anderson Tech faced its biggest crisis. A hacker attack had compromised millions of users' data, and Tyler spent days and nights at the office trying to resolve the situation. "You need to rest," Emily insisted during a rare visit to the office. "I can't, love. The whole company depends on me." "And your family? We depend on you too." Tyler rubbed his tired eyes. "Just a few more days. I promise I'll take a break after this." But days turned into weeks. The crisis deepened. Investors threatened to pull support. Employees resigned. The media tore the company apart. At home, Emily cared for Jason alone, now 2 years old. "Daddy?" the boy kept asking. "Daddy's working," she'd reply, trying to hide her sadness. Frank and Martha helped as much as they could, but Tyler's absence weighed heavily. "This isn't right," Frank remarked one day. He's missing his son's childhood. It's temporary, Dad, Emily defended her husband, though she had doubts herself. Temporary? It's been 3 months. The final straw came when Tyler missed Jason's 3rd birthday. He'd promised to be there on time, but an emergency meeting held him back. Emily waited until midnight, the cake untouched on the table, Jason asleep on the couch after crying for his father. When Tyler finally arrived at 2 in the morning, he found Emily in the dark living room. "I'm sorry, love. The meeting—" "No," she interrupted. "I don't want to hear excuses. Emily, do you know what Jason told me today? That he wanted another dad, one who stayed home." The words hit Tyler like a punch. He didn't mean that. Yes, he did. And you know the worst part. I understand him. Emily, please, it's just until we get through this crisis. There's always going to be a crisis, Tyler. There's always going to be something more important than us. You are the most important thing. Then prove it. Choose the company or the family. That's not fair. What's not fair is raising our son alone while you live at the office." Emily went upstairs, leaving Tyler alone with his thoughts. The next day, Tyler went to the farm. He found Frank working in the coffee fields. "I need advice." "About the company?" "About life." Frank stopped working. "Emily called me. She's hurting, Tyler. I know, but I don't know what to do. If I walk away from the company now, thousands of people lose their jobs. And if you keep going like this, you'll lose your family." "What would you do?" Frank sat on a log, motioning for Tyler to do the same. "When Emily was little, I almost lost this farm. Debts, pests, coffee prices crashing. I was working 20 hours a day. How did you save it?" "I didn't. At least not alone. Martha made me see I was losing what mattered most, so I did things differently. I involved the family, asked for help, delegated responsibilities. But a tech company is different. Is it? Or do you just think you're irreplaceable?" Tyler thought about it. It was true. He had centralized too many decisions, believing only he could fix everything. "I'm afraid of losing everything I've built. What's the point of building an empire if you have no one to share it with?" That night, Tyler came home early. Emily was surprised to see him. "What are you doing here?" "I came to have dinner with my family." "Tyler, you were." "Right. I was choosing the company, but not anymore." Jason ran into his father's arms. "Daddy." "Hey, champ. I'm sorry I missed your birthday." "It's okay." The boy hugged him tight. "You're here now." During dinner, Tyler announced, "I'm restructuring everything, hiring a CEO, delegating more, working remotely some days." "Are you sure?" Emily still seemed doubtful. "Absolutely. You're my priority. But implementing changes wouldn't be easy." The partners resisted. "You're the face of the company, Tyler," Brandon argued, "and I'll still be involved. But I can't live at the office anymore." "This is crazy, right in the middle of the crisis. Either we do this, or I sell my share." The threat worked. They began the restructuring process. Tyler interviewed CEO candidates, reorganized departments, and created remote work protocols. Emily watched with cautious hope. "I don't want you to do this just for me," she said one night. "It's not just for you. It's for me, too. I was losing myself in that routine." "And the company? It'll survive. It might even do better with fresh leadership." Frank helped in an unexpected way. His lessons on delegation and teamwork, learned on the farm, applied perfectly to the corporate world. "You know what your problem is," he said over lunch. "You want to control every detail like I did with the coffee fields." "And how did you change?" "I learned to trust. I taught others, shared responsibilities. The farm grew when I stopped trying to do everything alone." Tyler took the advice. He formed autonomous teams, set clear goals, and created efficient communication systems. 6 months later, the company had not only weathered the crisis but grown. The new CEO, an experienced executive named Sarah, brought fresh ideas and innovative methods. "You should have done this sooner," Emily remarked, watching Tyler play with Jason in the yard. "I had to learn the hard way. You almost lost us in the process." "I know. Never again." But new challenges would arise. Martha was diagnosed with a degenerative disease. The doctors were pessimistic about the prognosis. The family rallied around her. Tyler used his resources to seek out the best specialists. But some problems money couldn't solve. "I don't want expensive hospitals," Martha insisted. "I want to stay home with all of you." They arranged for home care. Emily reduced her hours as a teacher. Tyler adjusted his routine even more. Frank tried to be strong, but the fear of losing his wife consumed him. "She's everything to me," he confessed to Tyler one night. "I don't know how to live without her." "You won't have to. We'll fight this together. Some battles can't be won, son." The word son struck Tyler deeply. Frank had never called him that before. Over the following months, the farm became a center of care and love. Therapists came daily, nurses took shifts, and the family built a routine around Martha's needs. Jason, with his childlike innocence, brought joy to the difficult days. "Grandma, look at the drawing I made." "Beautiful, sweetheart," Martha would smile, even on her most painful days. Tyler discovered there were different kinds of wealth. Seeing Frank care for his wife with endless devotion, Emily finding strength where there seemed to be none, Jason spreading unconditional love. These were the real treasures. "You know," Martha said one day during a lucid moment, "I'm proud of what we've built." "We'll build so much more." Emily held her mother's hand. "We've already built what matters. A family that loves, supports, and forgives." She looked at Tyler. "I still remember the day you showed up pretending to be a farmer." "My lowest moment," Tyler smiled sadly. "No. It was the beginning of everything. Sometimes we need lies to find greater truths." Martha's recovery was slow but steady. Defying expectations, she responded well to treatment. The combination of quality medical care and family love worked miracles. "She's as stubborn as her husband," the doctor joked. "Collins doesn't give up easily," Frank replied with pride. During this time, Tyler made a discovery that would change everything. Reviewing old farm documents, he found deeds indicating the property sat atop one of the region's largest mineral water reserves. "This is worth a fortune," the lawyer explained. "Companies would pay millions for these rights." Tyler brought the news to Frank. "I don't want to sell water," was the immediate reply. "But Frank, we could use the money to expand, modernize." "Modernize? The farm is fine as it is. Think of the possibilities. We could create jobs, help the community, or we could destroy everything we've built." The debate lasted weeks. Emily was torn. "Dad's right to be cautious," she told Tyler, "but I see your point too. It's not about money, it's about wasted potential. To him, it's about preserving a way of life." Martha, now stronger, offered a solution. "Why not meet in the middle? Explore it sustainably, respecting the land?" The idea took root. Tyler researched sustainable business models, Frank set strict preservation terms, and Emily mediated. They created a family business. Collins Springs would be more than a company. It would be a model of how tradition and progress could coexist. "But I run the farming side," Frank declared. "And I won't interfere," Tyler agreed. The project started small. One spring, artisanal bottling, local distribution. The water's quality was exceptional, and demand soon grew. "We need to expand," Tyler suggested after 6 months. "Slowly," Frank cautioned. "Too much growth kills the essence." "But we have a 3-month waiting list." Better to have people waiting than product sitting. Frank's philosophy, frustrating to Tyler at first, proved wise. The exclusivity gave the product a premium aura. Collins Springs became synonymous with quality and sustainability. Jason, now 5 years old, loved helping with the business. "When I grow up, I'll take care of everything," he announced proudly. "First, you need to learn." Mr. Frank ruffled his great-grandson's hair. "Will you teach me, Grandpa?" Of course I will, but you'll have to wake up early." Family harmony seemed finally restored, but life still held surprises. Emily discovered she was pregnant again. The news brought joy but also worry. "Can we handle two?" She confessed her fears to Tyler. "We can handle anything together." "Jason already demands so much, and he'll have a brother or sister to share adventures with." Mr. Frank and Martha were overjoyed. "Another Collins," Mr. Frank celebrated. "Or Anderson," Tyler teased. Collins Anderson, Martha decided, united as it should be. The pregnancy went smoothly until the 7th month. When complications arose, Emily needed complete bed rest. I can't stop now, she protested. I have students depending on me. Your students will understand, Tyler said firmly. You and the baby come first. They rearranged their lives around Emily's care. Martha, now fully recovered, took on many tasks. Mr. Frank looked after Jason while Tyler balanced work and home. We're a team, Martha said during dinner one evening. The best team, Jason added, making everyone smile. But the situation worsened. Doctors recommended hospitalization. Risk of premature birth, they explained. Emily spent the final weeks of her pregnancy in the hospital. The family took turns staying with her, ensuring she was never alone. I'm scared, she confessed to Tyler one night. Me too. But we'll get through this. What if something goes wrong? It won't. We're Collinses, remember. Too stubborn. To give up. The delivery was difficult but successful. Olivia was born small but healthy, a miracle of determination. She's perfect, Emily cried with joy. Takes after her mother. Tyler kissed them both. Coming home was emotional. Jason waited eagerly to meet his sister. She's so tiny, he observed in surprise. You were too, Mr. Frank reminded him. We all start small. I'll protect her, Jason promised solemnly. Adjusting to 2 children brought new challenges. Sleepless nights, changed routines, divided attention. But it also brought multiplied joys. Worth every second, Emily said, watching Jason make his sister laugh. The water business continued to grow sustainably. Tyler had learned to respect Mr. Frank's pace, while Mr. Frank accepted some innovations. We could use solar energy at the facilities, Tyler suggested. How much would it cost? The investment pays for itself in 3 years. And it helps the environment? Significantly. Then let's do it. The partnership between father-in-law and son-in-law became a regional example. Business owners visited to learn the model. Universities conducted case studies. I never imagined this, Mr. Frank confessed one day. What? That I'd one day be teaching business owners about business. You've always been a businessman. You just didn't know it. No, I'm a farmer, but I've learned one doesn't exclude the other. When Olivia turned 2, a new crisis emerged. Brandon, Tyler's partner at Anderson Tech, was caught embezzling funds. It can't be, Tyler couldn't believe it. Brandon is my best friend. The evidence is overwhelming, the lawyer showed the documents. There must be an explanation, but there wasn't. Brandon confessed, citing gambling debts. I was going to pay it back, he cried. I just needed time. You betrayed my trust. You betrayed the company we built. Tyler, please, I have. To report this, I have no choice. The situation shook Tyler deeply, losing his friend and partner, discovering the betrayal, dealing with the legal and financial fallout. Emily was his anchor. You did the right thing. It doesn't feel right, it feels awful. Sometimes what's right hurts more than what's wrong. Mr. Frank offered perspective. I had a partner once. He betrayed me too. It hurt. But I learned. What did you learn? That trust is built slowly and lost quickly, but also that we can't let betrayal make us distrust everyone. Anderson Tech survived the scandal, but Tyler decided to sell it. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore, he explained to the family. And what will you do? Emily asked. Focus on what matters, the water, the farm, all of you. Are you sure? It's your creation. It was. Now I want to create other things. The sale was profitable, allowing investments in the farm and the water company. But more importantly, it gave Tyler the freedom to dedicate himself fully to his family. Daddy won't travel anymore? Jason asked hopefully. Much less, champ. Yay, can you teach me to ride a horse? Of course, Grandpa Frank will help. The new routine brought discoveries. Tyler developed a genuine passion for farming, going beyond his initial obligation. He experimented with techniques, studied innovations, and created projects. You've really changed, Emily observed, watching him work in the coffee field. We've all changed. But You're a different man. The same man, just better, I hope. Much better. Martha organized a special dinner to celebrate 10 years since their disastrous first meeting. Who would have thought, she toasted, that a lie would bring so much truth? I don't recommend the method, Tyler laughed. But it worked. Frank raised his glass. In the end, your lie revealed who you really were. A terrible farmer? Everyone laughed. A man willing to change for love, Martha corrected. Jason, now 12, asked, Dad, is it true you pretended to be poor to date Mom? Not exactly. I pretended to be a farmer. Why? Because I was afraid of being judged for my money. But money isn't bad, right? Frank answered. Money is a tool, Jason. It can build or destroy, it depends on who uses it. Like water, Olivia, precocious at 8, compared. It can irrigate or flood. Exactly. Martha hugged her granddaughter. Such a smart girl. The company Collins Springs had become a national benchmark in sustainability. They received awards, certifications, and recognition. We need a bigger headquarters, Tyler showed the plans. Nothing too grand, Frank cautioned. Of course, sustainable and integrated with the farm. What about the employees? All local, priority given to farmers' children. Good, keeps the roots strong. The construction of the new headquarters was a family project. Everyone gave input, from the architecture to the landscaping. Jason designed a recreation area. Olivia insisted on a butterfly garden. It'll be the most beautiful headquarters in the United States. Emily admired the plans. The most family-oriented for sure, Tyler hugged his wife. During construction, they discovered archaeological remains on the site. Work stopped. For investigation. These are indigenous artifacts, the archaeologist explained. Very old and valuable. What do we do? Tyler consulted the family. We preserve them, Frank was firm. This land has history. But it'll delay everything. Some things are more important than deadlines. They built a small museum on site, blending history and modernity. The move brought unexpected positive publicity. Family business preserves historical heritage, the newspapers reported. We didn't do it for publicity, Frank grumbled. But it helps the brand, Tyler considered. Brand? We make water, not fashion. Dad, Emily intervened, brand is reputation, and our reputation is doing what's right. The headquarters inauguration was a community event. The whole town was invited with music, food, and celebration. This was just brushland when I arrived, Frank said in his speech. Today it's proof that progress and tradition can go hand in hand. Tyler also spoke. I've learned on this farm that success isn't measured in numbers, but in lives touched. Thank you for teaching me that. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us newcomers tremendously. Now continuing. Years passed. Jason, now in college, studied environmental engineering. Olivia, in high school, showed a talent for business. I'll modernize everything when I take over, she teased her grandfather. Over my dead body, Frankie pretended to be indignant. Easy, Grandpa. Modernize while keeping the essence. That's more like it. You're a quick learner. Tyler and Emily, nearing 50, reflected on their journey. Did you imagine this life when we first met? She asked. Never. I thought happiness meant having more money. And what is happiness now? This, he gestured around. Family, purpose, peace. And that penthouse in the Upper East Side. Sold it long ago. I'd rather wake up to the coffee fields. Frank, now 80 but still active, continued working daily. Retirement is for those who lack passion for what they do, he'd say. Martha, at 78, kept the house and family organized. My work never ends, she smiled, and thank goodness for that. One day, a young entrepreneur approached. Tyler. Mr. Anderson, I admire your story. How did you give up everything for love? I didn't give up anything. I gained everything. But your company was worth billion, and my family is worth infinitely more. It's hard to believe that in today's world. It was hard for me too. I needed a stubborn teacher, he glanced at Frank, and a lot. Serve my own stubbornness, Frank added. The young man left thoughtful, perhaps planting seeds of change in his own life. "Do you think he understood?" Emily asked. "Maybe. Or maybe he'll need to learn the hard way like I did." The Collins farm had become a model of sustainable family agriculture. Universities brought students, researchers developed projects, and families visited on weekends. "We've become a tourist attraction," Frank grumbled half-heartedly. "You love showing off the property," Martha teased. "Only to those who truly appreciate it." Jason brought a girlfriend to meet the family. Rachel, a biologist, was passionate about sustainability. "Your farm is amazing," she exclaimed. "It's more than a farm," Jason explained proudly. "It's a way of life." "Seems like he learned well," Frank whispered to Tyler, "from the best teachers." Rachel quickly integrated into the family, helping with preservation projects and bringing fresh ideas. "She reminds me of someone," Martha told Emily. "Who?" "You, when you first started coming here, full of ideas and energy." "Was I really like that?" "And still are, just wiser now." Olivia, meanwhile, surprised everyone with maturity beyond her years. "Dad, I've been thinking," she said to Tyler. "We could create scholarships for farmers' children." "Great idea. How would it work?" "The company would sponsor technical and higher education with a commitment to give back to the community." "Brilliant. Let's discuss it with everyone." The idea was unanimously approved. The Collins-Anderson Education Program was born, transforming lives in the region. "That's the kind of wealth that matters," Frank approved. But not everything was perfect. Age took its toll on Frank and Martha. Small forgetfulness, more fatigue, physical limitations. "It's time to slow down," the doctor advised. "Slow down? Impossible," Frank protested. "Dad, we need to take care of your health," Emily insisted. "Taking care means staying active." It took all the family's diplomacy to convince him to delegate more responsibilities. Jason took over part of the farm operations. Olivia helped with management, and Tyler and Emily coordinated everything. "Am I still useful?" Frank asked vulnerably one day. "Useful?" Tyler held his father-in-law's shoulders. "You're essential. Your knowledge, your wisdom, your presence. None of that has a price. Sometimes I feel outdated. Never. You're our foundation." Martha faced her own challenges. The illness from years past had left its mark, now making itself known. "I don't want to be a burden," she confessed to Emily. "A burden? Mum, you're our strength." "But I need help with basic things." "And we're here for that. That's what family is." They adapted the house again. Assistive technology, specialized caregivers, but mostly love and patience. "It's strange," Martha reflected. "You took care of me when I needed it, and now I need it again. And we always will." Olivia hugged her grandmother. "It's the cycle of life." The young girl's wisdom never ceased to amaze them. A near-tragic incident strengthened their family bonds. Mr. Frank, stubborn as ever, tried to fix the barn roof by himself. The fall could have been fatal. "What were you thinking?" Tyler was furious and scared. "I've always fixed my own roofs." Mr. Frank defended himself from the hospital bed. "You're 82 years old." "So what? I've still got strength." "Strength, yes, but not the balance you once had." Emily cried with relief that her father had only minor fractures. "Don't do this again, Dad, please. You all treat me like I'm helpless." "We treat you like someone too precious to lose." Martha held his hand. The recovery was slow. Mr. Frank, forced to rest, grew depressed at first. "A man who doesn't work isn't a man," he grumbled. Jason had an idea. "Grandpa, how about teaching me everything you know? I mean really teaching me, with lessons." "To notes? What for?" "To preserve your knowledge, to create a handbook for Collins Farm." Mr. Frank's eyes lit up. "A handbook?" "Yes. With all your techniques, stories, secrets for the perfect coffee." The project gave him new purpose. He dictated to Olivia, who typed quickly, adding old photos and diagrams. "This is turning into a book," Martha admired. "A lifetime of knowledge," Emily said, moved. "Nonsense!" Mr. Frank brushed off his pride. "Just some notes." But everyone saw how the project revived him. Tyler faced his own dilemmas. $1 million offers came in for the water company. "We could sell and secure our family's future for generations," the consultant argued. What future? Without the company, without purpose? With enough money to never worry again. I already have that. I have a family, meaningful work, peace of mind. But think of the value. I am. That's why I won't sell. Emily fully supported him. We sold your company before because it made sense. This one's different. It's ours, all of ours. Exactly, and it should stay that way. Rachel and Jason announced their engagement, bringing a fresh wave of joy. Another one for the family, Martha celebrated. She was already family. Mr. Frank corrected. Now it's official. Should we get married here at the farm? Rachel asked hopefully. Where else? Jason hugged his fiancée. Wedding preparations brought everyone together. Each contributed. Tyler with organization, Emily with decorations, Olivia with music, Martha with cooking, Mr. Frank with supervision. Everything's wrong, he complained constantly. What's wrong, Grandpa? Olivia asked patiently. I don't know, but something must be. Everyone laughed. It was his way of being involved. Let him be, Martha advised. Complaining is how he participates. The wedding was magical. The farm glowed with lights, guests from every chapter of the couple's lives, a blend of tradition and modernity. My grandson's getting married, Mr. Frank said emotionally in his speech, on the same land where I married, where his mother was born, where I learned family is everything. Tyler also spoke. Jason, you grew up seeing that real love takes work, dedication, sometimes sacrifice, but it's worth every effort. Rachel, welcome officially. You've already won us all over. The celebration lasted till dawn. 3 generations danced together, celebrating not just a union, but a story of resilience and love. Months later, Rachel announced her pregnancy. The 5th generation was on its way. Her great-grandchild, Mr. Frank was beside himself. Or great-granddaughter, Martha reminded. Whatever, it's Collins Anderson. The pregnancy brought renewal, plans for the future, expansion of educational projects, dreams for the new member. He'll grow up in a better world, Rachel stroked her belly. Thanks to your work, Jason hugged his wife. Our work, Tyler corrected. All of us. Olivia, now with a degree in business administration, was taking on more responsibilities. I have a proposal, she announced at the family meeting. Another. One? Mr. Frank pretended to be tired. Export, but keeping our values. Export our water, Emily asked, intrigued. Selectively, to markets that value sustainability. And local jobs, Mr. Frank questioned. They'd increase. Bigger production, more need for labor. They debated at length. In the end, with adjustments suggested by everyone, they approved the project. Family democracy, Martha summarized. Everyone has a say. Everyone decides. The international expansion was careful. Every step measured, every decision aligned with family values. We're taking more than water, Tyler said, watching the first container leave. We're taking our story. Our philosophy, Emily added. Our way of doing business, Olivia finished. I hope they don't ruin it out there, Mr. Frank grumbled, but there was pride in his eyes. The birth of Ethan, Jason, and Rachel's son marked a new chapter. Mr. Frank, holding his great-grandson, cried without shame. I didn't think I'd live to see this. And you'll see much more, Martha assured. He's perfect, Emily admired her great-nephew. He'll have a lot to learn, Tyler smiled. And many teachers, Olivia added. Ethan would grow up surrounded by love, values, and opportunities, but also with his feet on the ground, literally. First lesson, Mr. Frank declared, respect for the land. He's 3 days old, Rachel laughed. Never too early to start. Mr. Frank and Martha's health required increasing care, but they faced it with dignity and family support. We're privileged, Martha reflected during a routine checkup. Why? The nurse asked. We have each other. Many grow old alone. True, you're a special family. Not special, just united. Tyler, watching the interaction, thought about how many elderly people lacked that support. That's when the idea for the Collins Day Center for Seniors was born. Another project? Emily smiled when he shared it. The last one, I promise. You said that about the last three. But this one's important. Giving back to the community. Then let's do it, together as always. The day center became a regional model. Seniors in the community had activities, healthcare, socialization, dignity. It's beautiful to see, Mr. Frank observed the activities. People my age, active, useful. You inspired this, Tyler reminded. Me? I just complained about being treated like I was helpless. And you showed that age doesn't define ability. Olivia ran the center with efficiency and warmth. Everyone has a story, she said emotionally. So much wisdom gathered here. Like your grandfather, Emily hugged her daughter. Grandpa is special, but everyone is in their own way. Jason expanded the farm with innovative techniques learned in college, but filtered through his grandfather's wisdom. Technology, with tradition, he defined the method. I like that, Mr. Frank approved. Don't abandon the old, improve it with the new. I learned from the best. You're still learning, he corrected. There's always more to learn. Rachel developed an environmental education program for kids on the farm. They're the future, she explained. They need to understand the land. Beautiful initiative, Martha praised. Emily did something similar when she was a teacher. I was inspired by her. Rachel smiled at her mother-in-law. The family grew not just in numbers but in impact. Each member contributed uniquely, yet all aligned with the same values. A regional water crisis tested the family again. The drought threatened not just their business, but the whole community. We need to ration production, Tyler proposed. It will affect profits, the accountant warned. So what? Frank intervened. Profit without community is worthless. They implemented emergency measures, free distribution for needy families, support for small farmers, awareness campaigns. We're losing money, investors complained. We're gaining something greater, Tyler held his ground. Respect, Emily, supported. Community trust. That doesn't pay the bills, an investor insisted. It pays other debts, Olivia defended. Moral ones, social ones. You're all crazy, the investor gave up. Not crazy, Frank corrected. Family. The crisis passed. The company survived with losses, but its reputation grew immensely. We did the right thing, Martha summarized. We always do. Ethan, now 3 years old, repeated what he always heard. Everyone laughed. The new generation was already absorbing family values. The Collins Handbook, Frank's project, was published, not commercially but distributed free to local farmers. Knowledge isn't for sale, he insisted. It's to be shared. But we could use the resources for more projects, someone suggested. We already have too many projects. This is legacy, not business. The launch was moving. Farmers from across the region came to thank and learn. Mr. Frank saved my crops, a young farmer testified. Saved nothing. I just shared what I learned. It's the same thing to us. Tyler watched with admiration. The man who once kicked him out for lying was now a beacon of truth and generosity. Emily developed a literacy program for adults in the community. Always a teacher, Tyler kissed. His wife. It's my passion, like farming became yours. Funny how life takes us down unexpected paths. Yours started with a lie and led me to the greatest truth of my life. Sunday family gatherings were sacred. 3, sometimes 4 generations together, sharing meals, stories, decisions. It's loud, visitors remarked. It's life, Martha answered proudly. During one such gathering, Frank made an announcement. I'm officially handing over the farm's management. Shocked silence. Dad, Emily worried. I'm fine, but it's time. Jason is ready. Olivia has vision. You and Tyler have experience. And I want to enjoy Ethan and those yet to come. But you always said, Jason began. I know what I said, but a wise man changes his mind when it's time. You'll still be involved? Tyler asked. Try to stop me, but now as a consultant, not the boss. Senior consultant, Olivia suggested. I like that, Frank approved. The transition was smooth because, in truth, it had already been happening naturally. Frank kept an office at the farm, gave advice, taught, but without the weight of daily decisions. It's liberating, he confessed to Martha. Took you 85 years to figure that out? Some lessons take longer. A documentary about the family was proposed by a national production company. Is our story worth telling? Emily doubted. It's very worth it, the director insisted. It's about transformation, values, true success. We don't want exposure, Tyler worried. It would be educational, Olivia considered. Show there are other paths. What do you think, Frank? They consulted the patriarch. If it helps one family come together, one person change, it's worth it. The documentary Waters of Truth was a critical and popular success. Letters arrived from all over the United States, stories of people inspired to change their lives. I didn't expect this. Tyler grew emotional reading the accounts. And we planted seeds without knowing. Emily hugged her husband. Like you did with me, Tyler told Frank. Me, I kicked you out of the house and taught me life's greatest lesson. Martha, now needing a wheelchair, kept her spirits high. I'm still mobile, she joked. Just changed vehicles. The house was fully adapted. Technology and love ensuring quality of life. We are blessed, she often repeated. Deservedly so, Frank kissed his wife. Olivia announced her relationship with Michael, an environmental engineer she met at a conference. Another for the collection, Frank joked. Collection? Michael didn't understand. Of sons and daughters-in-law who become like our own. Ah, I hope to earn that honor. You're already on the right path. Olivia wouldn't choose. Poorly. Michael's integration was natural. He shared their values, respected traditions, and brought new ideas. It's like a cycle, Martha observed. Everyone who arrives adds something but keeps the essence. Ethan, at 5 years old, already showed strong traits. Curious like Jason, determined like Olivia, affectionate like Emily, stubborn like Frank. He's a mix of all of us. Rachel laughed at her son's mischief. The best and worst traits, Jason agreed. More best than worst, Frank defended his great-grandson. Of course, Grandpa, you're biased, and proud of it. The Collins farm marked 100 years since its founding. The celebration was a local historic milestone. My grandfather started this, Franca said emotionally in his speech. He had no idea he was creating not just a farm, but a way of life that would span generations. And it will continue to, Tyler added, with the values you taught us. That we learned together, Frank corrected. No one teaches alone. The party gathered hundreds of people, employees, partners, friends, families who had in some way been touched by the Collins-Anderson history. It's incredible, Emily observed the crowd. So many lives connected. Your little lie created all this, Olivia teased her father. It wasn't the lie, Tyler reflected. It was the courage to make it right. And the wisdom to forgive. Emily looked at Frank. Forgive and demand change, the patriarch finished. Both together, Michael proposed to Olivia during the party with everyone's prior blessing. Another wedding at the farm, Martha celebrated. Tradition continues, Frank approved. With innovations, Olivia showed her engagement. Ring made of sustainable wood with a small diamond. Perfect, Rachel admired. Simple but meaningful. Like everything here, Michael hugged his fiancée. The family's social projects impacted thousands. Education, health, environment, community development. It's an empire of good, a journalist described. Not an empire, Tyler corrected. An extended family. But the impact comes from doing right consistently, Emily explained. Not from grand plans. Jason announced that Rachel was expecting their second child. The family grows, everyone cheered. We'll need a bigger table, Martha calculated. Or more tables, Frank suggested. Never, they all protested. We eat together. Just teasing, he laughed. Family united, table united. Frank's health, remarkably good for his age, allowed active participation. What's your secret? Doctors asked. Work, family, purpose, in that order. Wouldn't family come first? Work keeps me alive for family. Family gives me reason. Purpose ties them together. The second documentary, focused on the social projects, expanded their message's reach even further. We've become a reference, Olivia showed university invitations. Responsibility, Tyler considered. That we embrace, Emily added. Like everything else, Jason said. Together, Frank concluded. The birth of Sophie, Jason, and Rachel's second daughter coincided with a record coffee harvest. Signs, Martha interpreted, abundance in every form. Or, happy coincidence, Frank teased. There's no coincidence, she retorted, only providence. Philosophers, he kissed his wife. Always complicating the simple. And you always simplifying the complex. That's why we've worked for 60 years. Olivia's wedding was a celebration of union and continuity. Michael was now a full part of the family, and the vows included promises not just to each other, but to the community around them. I promise to love not only you, Michael said, but everything you love. Your family, your land, your values. I promise to build with you, Olivia responded, without destroying what generations have created. There wasn't a dry eye at the ceremony. The global food crisis brought new challenges. Pressure for intensive production, offers to buy land, temptations of quick profits. Stay the course, Mr. Frank advised during a tense meeting. But we could triple production, a consultant argued. And kill the land in 10 years, Jason countered. Exactly, Mr. Frank supported his great-grandson. Think in generations, not quarters. That's a romantic vision, the consultant insisted. It's a sustainable vision, Olivia defended. What's romantic is thinking we can exploit endlessly. Besides, Tyler concluded, we're not just in the business of producing, we're in the business of preserving a way of life. They held to their principles. Other farmers, seeing the long-term results, began adopting similar methods. We've become a model, Emily observed as groups visited. The best legacy possible, Martha approved. Ethan, now 8, showed deep interest in the land. I want to learn everything, Great-Grandpa. Everything is a lot, Mr. Frank ruffled the boy's hair. Then the most important things. Oh, that. I can teach. First lesson, patience. Patience. Yes, the land isn't in a hurry. Neither should we be. The lessons between great-grandfather and great-grandson became precious moments. Sophie soon joined, along with younger cousins, as the family grew. Look at this, Tyler showed Emily a photo. Frank, surrounded by great-grandchildren. Who would have thought after he kicked you out? I'd say it was the best day of my life, but that'd be a lie. Would it? It was awful, but it led to the best days. A diagnosis shook the family. Martha had developed a serious heart condition. How long? Mr. Frank asked the doctor directly. With care, years. Without it, she'll have all the care, the whole family promised. They rearranged everything again, medical equipment at home, round-the-clock nursing, but most of all, constant presence. So you don't need to watch over me, Martha protested. We're not watching, Olivia corrected. We're cherishing. Every moment, Emily added. The grandchildren created a rotation for time with Grandma. Reading, games, conversations, simple presence. They're angels, Martha said tearfully. They're your grandchildren, Mr. Frank reminded. They learned from the best. Martha's fragility sparked reflections on legacy and continuity. Record her stories, Rachel suggested, for the next generations. A family project was born. Each recorded conversations with Martha about different aspects of life. Tell us about when you met Grandpa, Sophie asked. About the farm's early years, Ethan was curious. About being a mother, Emily wanted to preserve. About being a grandmother, Olivia added. The recordings became a family treasure, wisdom, humor, and love preserved forever. I'll leave my voice when my body's gone, Martha joked seriously. You'll leave much more, Mr. Frank held her hand. The water company received international certification for sustainability excellence. Well deserved, competitors acknowledged. It cost us, Tyler admitted. Hard choices, smaller profits. But a clear conscience, Emily hugged her husband. And a secure future, Olivia showed projections. Sustainability became a competitive edge. Took the world nearly ending for them to understand, Mr. Frank quipped. Michael and Olivia announced a pregnancy. Another generation on the way. The farm will turn into a town, Mr. Frank joked. A family town, Martha corrected. The best kind. Preparations for the new member included everyone. A sustainable nursery, hand-me-down clothes, values passed down before birth. Lucky kid, Michael said emotionally, to be born into this family. Our luck, Olivia corrected. One more person to love. Olivia's delivery was a moment of unity. The whole family at the hospital, Frank and Martha on video call from the adapted room at home. Henry, they announced the name, in honor of Martha. An undeserved honor, she cried. A perfect honor, everyone agreed. The baby brought renewal. Martha, against medical expectations, improved with the joy of her new great-grandson. Medicine doesn't explain everything, the doctor admitted. Love does, Frank summed up. Ethan, at 10 years old, won a school prize for his project on sustainable farming. I learned everything here, he said on stage, from my great-grandfather, who taught me the land is borrowed from our children. He gets it. Frank couldn't hide his tears. Of course he gets it, Martha said proudly. He's a Collins Anderson. The family's network of influence expanded naturally, not from a pursuit of power, but through consistent example. You've changed the region, the mayor acknowledged. The region changed with us, Tyler corrected. Mutually. But the leadership is service, Emily philosophized, not command. Jason developed a new farming technique that increased productivity while preserving the soil. Respectful innovation, he defined it. A contradiction to many, Rachel observed. A compliment to us, he kissed his wife. The technique was shared freely, like everything the family developed. Free knowledge, Olivia advocated. Like clean water. Perfect comparison, Michael admired his wife. Sophie, at 6 years old, surprised everyone with deep questions. Why do we give things away instead of selling them? Because we've received so much, Emily explained patiently. We should give back. But we could be richer. We already are the richest, Frank interjected. Only our wealth doesn't fit in a safe. Then where does it fit? Here, he pointed to his heart. And here, he gestured to the gathered family. Their example inspired. Young people in the region started similar projects. Businesses adopted sustainable practices. Families spent more time together. We've become a movement without trying, Olivia reflected. The best movements, Martha noted, are the unplanned ones. They come from real need, Frank added, and genuine love, Emily finished. A family crisis arose when they discovered a long-time employee had been embezzling funds for years. How do we proceed? The ethical dilemma was clear. We report it, Tyler was firm. But he has a family, Emily worried. And he betrayed our trust, Jason reminded them. Like Brandon years ago, an inevitable parallel. Frank gave direction. Confront him with truth. Give him a chance to make it right. If not, follow the law. The employee, when confronted, confessed and showed genuine remorse. The family was divided. Forgive or prosecute. We forgave Tyler when he lied, Martha reminded them. Different situation, some argued. Same principle, she insisted. A chance for redemption. They chose a middle path. Termination, a repayment plan, but no criminal charges. Mercy with justice, Frank approved. I hope he learns, Tyler reflected on his own experience. Like you did, Emily hugged her husband. Years later, the employee would start his own honest business and credit the second chance as his salvation. Another life transformed, Martha would say with satisfaction. The annual farm festival became a regional tradition. Music, food, local products, environmental education. It started small, the elders remembered. Like everything here, Frank said proudly, organic growth. Ethan, now a teenager, led a youth sustainability group. The next generation stepping up, Jason said proudly of his son. Naturally, Rachel observed, he grew up seeing the example. Example is everything, Tyler agreed. Not everything, Frank corrected, but close. Martha, nearing 90, kept her sharp mind. The secret is staying relevant, she shared. You'll always be relevant, the family assured her. As long as I can contribute. She insisted, and she did. Advice, institutional memory, unconditional love. Olivia and Michael worked on a revolutionary vertical farming project. The future is here, they presented to the family. Without forgetting the past, Mr. Frank gave his conditional approval. Integrated, they assured, technology serving tradition. That's how I approve, he smiled. Henry, at 3 years old, already showed a strong personality. Stubborn like his great-grandfather, Olivia laughed. A quality, Mr. Frank defended. When properly directed, Martha moderated. Like everything in life, a general reflection. The final documentary in the trilogy focused on the new generations. A living legacy, the director described. Rare to see, because many give up, Tyler analyzed. We persist, Emily stated simply. Together, the family chorus. $1 billion offer came to buy everything. The company, the farm, the projects. Shouldn't we even discuss it, and someone suggested. What's there to discuss, and Mr. Frank concluded. You don't sell your soul, but the value, I've said it. He was firm. Our wealth has no price, a unanimous decision. Some things remained non-negotiable. The arrival of Jason and Rachel's twin great-grandchildren brought double the joy. Thomas and Teresa, the chosen. They must do us perfect, Martha blessed. More Collins Andersons, Mr. Frank celebrated. The world needs them. Emily hugged her great-nieces and nephews. Adaptations continued. Each generation brought new needs, but the foundation remained solid. Like a tree, Ethan poetized. Strong roots, flexible branches. The poet has spoken. The family teased. The truth has spoken. He defended himself. Mr. Frank, at 95, still worked daily. Slowing down, he admitted reluctantly. But not stopping. Martha knew her husband. Never, he assured. Eternal rest will have to wait. The family laughed. Some things never change. The Rural Innovation Center was inaugurated, a public-private partnership inspired by the Collins model. A seed becoming a forest, the inevitable metaphor. Every tree matters, Olivia managed. But the forest is the goal, Michael added. Children in the region now had access to technological education with their feet on the ground. The perfect balance, educators praised. The only sustainable way, the family knew. Sophie, a teenager, questioned her path. Do I have to follow the family tradition? You need to follow your heart, her parents assured. But with family values, her grandparents added. Values, yes, she agreed. The form, we'll see. Freedom with responsibility. A lesson learned and passed on. A major storm significantly damaged the farm. A test of resilience had come. We'll rebuild, a quick decision. Better than before, an opportunity seen. Together, the confirmed method. The reconstruction became a community event, mutual aid, visible solidarity. Tough. Times reveal character, Mr. Frank philosophized. Ours revealed community, Martha said proudly. Henry and his younger cousins played among the rubble and rebuilding. Life goes on, Rachel observed. Always, Jason embraced, the family. Stronger after storms, Tyler spoke from experience. The rebuilt farm incorporated sustainable improvements. Crisis turned into opportunity. Our standard, Emily noted, transforming challenges into growth, Olivia completed. A rare skill, Michael admired. Trained, Mr. Frank reminded. Not innate. Ethan, preparing for college, chose environmental engineering. A surprise to no one, the family commented. Did you expect it? He asked. We expected you to follow your path, the wise reply. Which coincided with ours, a shared smile. Martha organized a special celebration, the renewal of vows for all the family's couples. While I can still take part, her clear motivation, an emotional ceremony. Generations reaffirming commitments, not just to each other, but to shared values. More than marriages, the officiant observed, an alliance of souls and purposes, Mr. Frank added. The same thing, Martha concluded. Years passed, the family grew in numbers and impact, but its essence remained. What's your secret? Visitors would ask. There is no secret, came the honest reply. Just consistency, and love showed the inevitable addition, and hard work, the necessary complement, and forgiveness, a lesson learned, and unity, the foundation of it all. Frank, nearing 100 years old, reflected, "I've lived to see 5 generations. I've seen lies turn into truth, strangers become family, seeds grow into forests. To my man, it's not over." Martha held his hand. "No," he smiled. "It's only just begun." Tyler Anderson, his hair now grey, stood observing the farm from the same spot where he'd been confronted decades earlier. Thinking, Emily embraced her husband, remembering and giving thanks. For what? For you having a stubborn father who threw me out and brought you back, to never leave again. Never is a long time. Not long enough for us. The new generation took on responsibilities naturally, without pressure, by choice. A living legacy, Olivia defined. A responsibility and a privilege, said the now mature Ethan. Mostly love, added Sophie, poetic like her cousin. All of it together, chimed in Henry, with childlike simplicity. Exactly, the great-grandparents approved. Collins Farm was no longer just a farm. It was a concept, a philosophy, a way of life replicated and adapted. But still our home, its essence preserved. Always, a renewed promise. Martha, approaching the inevitable, remained at peace. "I've lived fully. You'll live more," the family hoped. "I'll live forever," she gestured around. "In each of you, in every project, in every value passed down." "Philosophizing again," Frank teased through tears. "Still learning," she corrected. "Until the end. Don't speak of endings. I speak of continuity. Our story doesn't end, and it didn't. It transformed, evolved, but its essence remained. Michael developed a revolutionary irrigation system, conserving 70% of water. Collins Innovation, they named it. The perfect name, Frank approved. It honors the past and points to the future. Free distribution of the technology, as tradition demanded. Some profits aren't measured in money, Michael had learned. "Proud of you," Olivia kissed her husband. A new economic crisis tested their resilience. Markets plummeted, panic spread. "Stay calm," as the elders advised. "We've been through worse, yet institutional memory helped. And we'll get through this." Unshakable confidence. The family's conservative strategy proved wise. While others collapsed, they endured. "We didn't get rich quickly," Tyler analyzed, "but we didn't fall apart quickly either." Preferable, the general consensus. The only sustainable way, Frank repeated his mantra. Henry discovered a passion for music. The family supported him, even if it strayed from expectations. "Art nourishes too," Martha defended her great-grandson. "And he can play at farm celebrations," the practical side noted. Tradition with variation, approval won. Diversity strengthened, never weakened, the family legacy. Each contributes differently. Emily observed at a family gathering. "But all contribute," Tyler finished. "A symphony," Henry's musical metaphor. "Perfect," Martha agreed. Different instruments, the same song. Sophie chose medicine, surprising some. "I thought she'd go." "Into business," one comments arose. "Caring for people is our business," or she countered. "Just a different form." "Wise," Frank beamed with pride. "She understands the essence." "A rural doctor?" people asked. "Where else?" was her obvious reply. The circle completed itself, the family serving the community in countless ways. End of story. Now tell us what you thought of the story and where you're watching from. If you have something to share, leave a comment. Do you think Tyler made the right choice embracing a simple life? We'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss more heartwarming stories.